short and sweet. Hi folks, in this drum and bass piece something is happening with the drum track. Let me solo it. It sounds like someone is breathing into or out of the drums. How can this digital effect vary over time? We cannot hear it. Then we can. Then the effect disappears again. If you're familiar with digital audio, this may sound trivial to you, but it is not trivial at all. In 1996, Steinberg, a company based in Hamburg, Germany, released the virtual studio technology VST. VST these days is at the heart of nearly every digital music production. The most often used VST scenarios are adding reverb to a recording or freeing an audio track from being static over time. That is the case in my drum and bass piece. Let me show you how it works. This is a nice drum and bass drum pattern. The format is MIDI, is not really important. In order to add any kind of effect, you choose an insert. It depends on your audio sequencer where to find the inserts. I'm using Cubase, and one way to access the VST effects is via the channel settings. In my case, I'll use something which distorts the drum sound. The standard sequencer provides several distortion effects. I'll use an effect which I paid for very little money long ago. It's called Trash 2 by Isotope. It is a pretty much outdated VST effect, as you can tell from the user interface. Trash, meanwhile, looks much better, much more modern. Doesn't matter here. The sound of the original drums changes as soon as we select one of the entries of this effect. Doom Underwater. Or Buried in Sand. Or, and with this we're getting this singing drum effect, absolutely broken. This is a very trashy sound. All VST effect windows have a knob or slider which is called output mix, or in this case dry and wet. Wet in the audio recording world means full effect. Dry means the pure original sound. When I move the slider to a more subtle position, it stays there. In order to animate the slider position, we need to find R and W, read and write. We want to start an animation. It's called automation in the music world. So we activate the W button. No rush. Set the cursor in the sequencer to the beginning of the track, then play back the track. No need for the recording button. We're not recording a new drum pattern, we're animating the slider. When finished, deselect the W button. Cubase wrote a new track right below the MIDI drum track. It contains my slider movements. Of course, you can change this curve, simplify it, add new automation points, etc. The beauty of VST is that all parameters can be animated in the same way. And of course you can add more effects before or after the distortion. For example, a reverb which sets in at the end of the track only. Let me wrap this up. You have a MIDI or audio track in your sequencer. Find the Insert section, add an insert effect. Click on the red W button to activate the automation, play back the track and change as many parameters as you want. Then deactivate the write function. Finally, take a look at the automation track, modify it or leave it as it is. VST, by the way, concentrates on single tracks, our drum track in this example. If you want to manipulate several tracks, you need to enter the ARA world. Cheers!